Hail, hail! The Celts are here, and what the hell do we care now? Apologies, guys, for the delayed scheduling for the show today. We were meant to do this between 5 and 6 on a Wednesday, as we always do, but sadly, some unforeseens kind of got in the way and I had to reschedule. And we're here on a Thursday, so hopefully this finds you well. It's also post Europa League final. Big Ange Postecoglou doing the business, doing the damage, winning a trophy in the second season. And I know Celtic fans all around the world watched the game despite it being absolutely terrible, still cheering the man on. And I think we'll count this as a mild W for Celtic fans believing in the guy and backing him despite all of the nonsense and all the gibberish that he's had to put up with over the last 2 years in England. And I thought I would commemorate the occasion by, I'm not wearing a Celtic top today. I'm wearing, I'd probably say my favourite Europa League winner over the last 5 or 6 years, Frankfurt. And yeah, there's a little bit of a twist in the dagger with that, but I was a big Frankfurt fan that season or that period. Ollie Glasner, the Crystal Palace manager who won the FA Cup this year, funnily enough, with Daichi Kamada, also in that team, and with Palace, and Filip Kostic was just a wonderful team, a lot of fun to watch. They're still actually pretty good, Frankfurt. A lot of the same principles there with Top Mahler as he had with Glasner. But anyway, that explains the Frankfurt top why we're here. I don't have a Tottenham shirt, and I don't think I'd wear a Tottenham shirt onto a Celtic stream, but I thought we'd get away with the Frankfurt one because of who they beat. And we can kind of rejoice in the Europa League glory that Ange and Spurs have picked himself up last night. If you did watch the game, thoughts, feelings, reactions, takeaways, of course, let us know. But the reason we're here every Wednesday/Thursday on this one is to get into summer transfer business. I think this will be the 10th episode in the series where we're looking at the Celtic squad as well as the sort of targets we could be, should be, would be targeting if all the right noises are to be believed. We've let the rumour mill lead us down the garden path for most of these episodes, where if we get a rumour for a guy in Belgium, we have a look at the guy, have a look at all the other stuff that's going on, and encompass the rest of the league if at all possible, so on and so forth. For the most part, I think there's only been 2 leagues where I've led us into for the series that the rumour mill hasn't gave us a little crumb of information or a little whiff of what might be going on to kind of steer us. One of them being MLS, and I forget what the other one was, but I'm pretty sure there was 2, but I had to kind of think, right, where do we want to do this week? And actually, I had a bit of a dilemma because I'd promised you guys we were going to do this on this episode, and I wanted to back up the promise, of course. But the transfer rumour mill over the last couple of days has been actually pretty busy. Arnie Engels has been linked with a move away to Atalanta, and Gorgeous George himself, has been interviewed by the Daily Ranger, professing his love for Celtic and his desire to return. But I can speak about that in some detail. I've been following Giakoumakis across North America since he left the Hoops, and I'm not too surprised he wants to come back to us. I can maybe get into that in a bit more detail throughout the show. William, you maybe missed it at the very beginning. I did a wee explainer right at the beginning, but it's Happy Europa League Winners' Day, and that will probably encompass the sentiment that I've got here with the Frankfurt shirt. If you want to get the lowdown, jump back to the very beginning of the stream. It'll take you 5 seconds to hear the explanation for it, and then you can hit the live button, and it'll just jump you straight back to where we're at. Thanks to everyone for coming. David Stalker with the jokes, as always. Thank you very much for that. I came a channel across Blackburn Overseas earlier, and the Blackburn fan who was doing the programme seems to think Tyrus Dolan's defo Celtic bound. Now, I didn't actually cover him when we did the championship. That link hadn't really came out, and he's a guy. The thing with a lot of these videos is I'm looking for, and I say this term quite a lot, and I'm really sorry if it irks you because I've been so repetitive with it, but I'm generally looking for top of the food chain level guys, and he's certainly a guy with promise. It wasn't a guy that really jumped off the page for me. From like a paper point of view, is definitely a guy. So I've seen the links. They weren't. I think the links actually came out like a couple of days, maybe even a week after we did the championship episode. So I did a little bit of digging. It definitely looks like a talent, definitely looks like a player, don't get me wrong, but statistical kind of overview wasn't like an obvious one that jumped out. So we can maybe look at him in a bit more detail today since we've not actually covered him. Good evening, of course, Dr. Strangelove, Strangelove the Doctor. Thank you very much. And it's on YouTube. Excellent. I'll be sure to check it out, because I do think that some of these, like, who was I talking to? What was it? Because there was a move where, it was even Greg Taylor. Somebody was asking me about Greg Taylor for Celtic next year in terms of fantasy football, and I was like, no, he's gone. So I do think that actual fans of clubs definitely have a good sniff on what's actually happening locally. And so that might actually be something to read into in a bit more detail. He's played about 210 games for Blackburn. Nice. So Pierce, we actually did an episode, I wouldn't say dedicated to Josh Brownhill, but the links to Josh Brownhill we had in January. We heard from Kev Graham on Axom the Monday before we did that championship episode that he has it on information that Josh Brownhill is going to be announced as being a free transfer for Celtic. So we actually covered Josh Brownhill in a good level of detail on the championship episode. It's actually the highest viewed episode in the series so far, with around 9,000 views at the moment. So Pierce, if you haven't caught that, be sure to catch it after we're live today as well, of course. On the France episode, we did France as well. I think that might have been the second episode in the series. That ship has sailed for me. I know we did it with Jota. I think Jota is a bit of, and Tierney individually, they're both quite different situations for bringing a guy back and all the rest of it. I just don't think Kyogo is going to fall into that. It depends what a bumper contract is. So let's just see how it shakes out with that one. But the purpose of the show today is we want to have a look at the shortlist we've got now, guys, over the 9 episodes is over 101 players deep. Now, some of those players I've already got earmarked in mind for the shortlist that we're going to compose on the stream today. But I want your interactions and I want to hear what your thoughts and feelings are. Maybe after 1 or 2 of the episodes, well, I know you guys have anyway because you do leave me comments telling me as much. But if you've watched an episode, thought that guy sounds interesting, never heard of him, or have maybe heard something about him, if you've did a little bit more digging and someone's really caught your eye from the series, or maybe even similar to the Blackburn kid, if someone hasn't been featured yet in the series, you do think they are a top prospect, top prodigy, someone that we should be looking at, will be looking at, whatever, feel free to get them in. And ideally, we get a bit of a short list on the go here where we've got a better sense, we've got a better idea of, the sort of guys that we're looking for. And I think the best place to start with that is taking us all the way back to episode 1 and having a look at the depth chart that we have for Celtic come the summer. Now, the guys that are in yellow, they're like right on the fringes of the picture, of course, and then white and green. Green's obviously the best 11, kinda. Scales and Trusty, we can argue about that all day, I'm sure, but at the time, I just felt like Trusty was the one to put in green here with Scales. There's also chat about Hatate perhaps leaving, so again, we can maybe factor that in now to some of the equation also, but for the most part, this is the squad as it stands come the summer. We'll have Tierney inbound, we'll have Greg Taylor outbound, and for the most part, that's pretty much the only thing that's set in stone. Olympiacos will not be activating their buy clause for Luis Palma, so he'll definitely be coming back to the club. There's rumours that Yang might be making his way to Portsmouth on loan, so that'll be interesting enough to see how that shakes out. Telio fancies himself to come back. I'm just going to put a wee space on that so it looks a wee bit better. There we go. Telio fancies himself to come back to Scotland from his return to Australia. A little bit better off for it. Kwon has kind of failed to really do anything at Hibs, and he did have some moments at St Mirren, which feels like an eternity ago, so I'm not too sure he's really going to be in the reckoning in the picture at all. But otherwise, I don't think there's much else to kind of update on this board. We could add in the likes of Micardo or something else like that into the depth chart here. I'm sure Jota, as we know, is going to be injured and out till Christmas, so we could maybe relegate him from being green to white. So what I would probably do as things stand is change that for Big Ida 9, move Dyson into here, and then Ida for the injured Jota, and we'll put a wee asterisk on him because we know he's injured. Oh, sugar. Caps have killed me on that one. Excellent. So we know Jota's injured until Christmas or so. So yeah, that's maybe just a wee correction for like the Champions League qualifier, how we'll start the 25-26 campaign. Hopefully as treble holders, of course, as we know, we'll be champions again, of course, for Flag Day and all the rest of it. And so looking at the squad, looking at the depth, what is the one thing before we get into the short list and the runners and riders and the main targets? But for you guys, looking at this, let me know what you think is the glaring gap in the team. Now, I'll kind of let you know my 2 cents while you guys are typing away, having a look at the screen and having a little chew over it, right? There's been a bit of chat around centre-back, right? Now, for me, I think Welsh is probably going to get moved on, probably into Belgium. He's done well enough in Belgium. If it's going to be around a 1 million, 2 million transfer fee with a sell-on clause, that'll probably move. There's no rumours around that. I'm just kind of surmising. But with the re-emergence of Naroki, one of two things is going to happen here. Naroki's either just getting a highlight package together for his agent to go out and shop him around this summer, and we might see Naroki follow out Lagerbielke. Now, I maybe should put Lagerbielke in here on yellow because it started off amazing. Just call them Lagers. In Holland, and it's kind of waned away. Twente have not been that great. I could see Twente want to make the move permanent. I think there might be some interest from some other Dutch clubs, but as of yet, all quiet on the Western Front. But if it's not Naroki getting a highlight package to go shopping, to shop himself around in this summer transfer window, it could just be a case of really testing him and really getting him up to speed. And really, all things being equal, going into the Champions League, going into the league campaign, having Scales Trusty, Naroki CCV, and then having Dane Murray in here as, you know, the fifth centre-back to bleed through, push Naroki out. If Murray can't do it, if Murray can't get fit, you've got Naroki there as the insurance policy. I don't see there being any business at centre-back. Now, we have covered a few centre-backs in the series, and I don't think I included anyone who would not make the first 11, because like I said at the tip off to this, one thing I'm always trying to keep at the front of my mind is top of the food chain caliber. And guys, so I have had some prospects in this, right? Granted, but I do think by and large, but especially when you listen to Brendan over the last couple of weeks, his words have been to the effect of, you know, he's kind of like, people have asked him, you know, what do you expect to happen? Do you think you'll lose some players and all the rest of it? And he keeps saying, we don't know. You can't rule it out. We've got some really good players that will attract interest. If no one leaves, he wants 2 to 3 players of high quality. So I think he wants another window like last year where he got Trusty, Ida, and Engels, right? So if we don't lose anyone, Brendan has got 2 or 3 players of that level on the hit list on the menu. I don't see one of them being at centre back personally, because we still have a big gap at left back, right, to fill. And that's where the 2 to 3 element, I think, comes in there, because the third one might not be better than Tierney. Probably, or certainly won't be better than Tierney, but will be valuable to the squad to, you know, job share with him, you know, as it were. The other 2 spots that I think are going to be critical and are going to be high quality, high caliber is going to be another midfielder to come into this picture here, and a Kyogo replacement up front. If we do believe the rumours that maybe Yang does get a loan out, I don't know if Palma and Tilly will get a second chance audition, whatever, but I do think a forward and a midfielder are the top 2 things that Brendan is going to be targeting in this window. And the third thing is going to be left back cover for Tierney. If we lose a player, that is then just going to activate, we need to replace them in the depth chart and the quality of the squad, etc. So if Hatate leaves, I think that opens us up to getting another attack-based midfielder, or a more maverick playmaker type guy. If Engels was to leave, I think, again, it'll be, I don't think the Engels profile in terms of his play style is something we would target again. Physical, technical attributes, definitely, but I think that's the one thing with Engels. When everyone, like, you know, it's funny, right? Because football fans aren't stupid. We all know what we see and we all know what we don't see. And no matter how much you believe in Engels, and I'm one of them, you know, I'm a fan. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I'm a fan. I think he's good. I think he's a good prospect, a good player to have signed. And I think ultimately he's had a good season. I'd give him pass marks for the year, of course. And I think there's good scope that he could be better next year. But I think the situation that we picked him in from, and his profile in general, it was a bit of a finger cross situation that he can reach the highs of the person he replaced or even surpass him. And I think if he was to leave, the amount of money that would generate from that transfer, again, like, this is incredible, because we buy O'Reilly for $1 million, we sell him for 25, we take half of that profit, buy Engels, and then if we double the Engels money, then really we should be spending 15, 16 million on that key kind of midfield spot there. Similar to Hatate, depending on what Hatate goes for, will probably dictate the transfer fee, because Celtic love to take a skim off the top to put into the bank balance. Anyway, I think we can all agree Brendan certainly seems to be crying out for it. We've seen Bernardo playing as the handcuff, as the backup to McGregor in defensive midfield now over the last couple of games towards the end of the season. And you can tell Brendan really wants someone to share the load with McGregor and be someone that is actually like a screen an actual shield in front of the back line and can do the progressive stuff that McGregor does. So, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with the midfield. With the forward line, it could be anything. It could be like a left winger that can play through the middle, same to Dyson, or it could be a right winger that can play through the middle. It could be a guy that can play through the middle, but can also play attacking midfield. There's going to be a versatile top end forward, I think. There's going to be top of the to-do list. But Schmeichel's going to be staying on and looks pretty solid. Sinisalo, we spoke about him in episode 1 because before, when we did episode 1, Sinisalo hadn't played other than that one game against Rafe or whatever it was. And Rodgers actually echoed what we spoke about in that video, that if he was going to be seen as the heir apparent, next year he would need a loan if he wasn't going to get significant minutes. But I think what he showed in that little audition period for Schmeichel is that, you know what, next year we can actually just take him to the next stage of that development where he plays all the League Cup games, he plays the early Scottish Cup games, he plays the bottom 3 teams in the league, and then we go from there into the future, as it were. So it feels like Sinisalo is going to be in situ along with Schmeichel. That being said, Baines in his last year of his contract would be linked to Doohan to kind of keep that homegrown quota. That could be something that happens as a kind of tertiary thing. There's not been too many goalkeepers we've featured on the series. There has been 1 or 2, and I would prefer them all to Ross Doohan, I think, quite comfortably. Just better prospects and all the rest of it. So that's my kind of up-to-date summation, I don't even know what the word is, summary, essentially, of the depth we have coming into the summer. Let's see what you guys are saying, and let's see what you guys think about the current depth and kind of what we're after. The live chat has been flying away, and love to see it, guys. Interactions are off the hook today, as always. The scout has dropped in Strelic, the boy from Bratislava. Now, Strelic looked good against us, right? I'll give you that. He looked like their best player, but he is so far away from the level we want. If we buy a guy like this, there is a very slim chance he is capable of ousting Adam Ida out the team. I must confess, I don't know more about Strelic than what we kind of got from watching him and an analysis I did around the Bratislava game. I have no confidence that he would be let's say, what would they cost? 3 million quid? I don't see any reason that 3 million quid would be better spent on Strelic rather than giving Kenny that shirt, essentially, from what we've seen from him. He can develop, and I think domestically, and I underline domestically and put it in bold, Kenny is probably going to be a fine Celtic player should he get minutes going forward. They've got a Slovenian right winger as well called Zivkovic. Now, there's a Zivkovic, I'm not too sure who you're talking. Oh, at Pau. Yeah, so there is a Zivkovic that's in Greece. I think he actually plays. It might be you're saying he plays for Pau or Thessalonic. I think he plays for Olympiacos. It might be, but he's really good, that guy. I've actually thought he's a good player for a while. Zivkovic came from Benfica to Greece, always in the Serbia team. Left winger, can play left wing back. He's a really good shout. I don't think he's cheap, but I think he carries a big wage packet as well. Greece has got this weird ability to pay some decent wages. Yeah, if it's the guy I'm thinking about, he's Serbian. There might be another guy that's Slovenian that plays for one of these clubs I don't know about, and if that's a new one, we'll go and look into it. Now, Thomas Dawson, I agree with the sentiment that the defense could be upgraded, right? But this kind of brings me back to the initial reason why I'm like so kind of recognizable in the Celtic fan community as being a Scales guy, is because getting better than Scales or getting better than the defense we have now costs a lot of money. And as you can see with Trusty for 6 million, really, like, I know you're saying too soft. I would agree with that as a generalization. But really what this defense is missing is progressive passing, and that's what Naroki offered when he first came into the team. It's what Scales has evolved to being decent at. Trusty and Vickers have just not got it in them from what I've seen. So someone that's like Balde, for sure, bring them in, but they have to be able to pass. And funnily enough, totally different position, but that's the number one reason I don't want us to get Giakoumakis, because, like nostalgia and what's the other word? Not nostalgia, but looking back on players like that, people only remember the good. I'll tell you the number one thing I remember about Giakoumakis is he could not pass a ball 5 yards. Period. And honestly, I've got a vivid memory of a game against St Mirren where like he may have got better as well. Like I've not really been analysing his passing or whatever. I've followed his career in North America to this point, like I mentioned earlier. But Giakoumakis cannot pass. People think Adamida can't pass. Giakoumakis cannot pass. Is Welsh's loan until Jan? I hadn't realised that, Thomas. Thanks a lot for the intel. Great contribution, mate. Thanks for catching me on that one. And yeah, that was from whoscored.com. I shared that on Twitter myself. We need 2 players per position supported by a YT understudy. Youth team understudy. How does it look building from that natural 4-3-3 shape? Yeah, I think the main thing were Montgomery, Mitchell Frame. Who else? No, it is Montgomery's the other guy. Montgomery and Frame are maybe the only ones that come into that reckoning. Of course, the McCardles and whatever kind of come in there as well. In terms of 2 to a spot, the main place we are missing that is midfield. And yeah, I'm okay with that as well. I think in Champions League, if we did lose, Vickers honestly has never had a good Champions League campaign, has he? So we've kind of done Champions League with Vickers enough times, and I think we can maybe just about get by with what we've got, but it's not a great situation. Pierce is after an attacking mid, a defensive mid, a winger, and a left back. I'm all about that life as well. I think the attacking midfielder, but it's probably only going to be something that hits the menu. If they can also play up front, I still think there's a Kyogo replacement that's required in this, or if Itati Arengos leaves. But otherwise, I think, the winger probably comes into that as well. Pierce, I'm with you all the way. Yeah, and left back as well. And McLaughlin P reckons shift out everyone except for like Scales, Trusty, Vickers, and go get our centre back. Who you wanting in qualifiers? Presume we are seeded. I personally want Basel. No, we don't want Basel. We don't want Basel for a few reasons. The number one reason is called Xherdan Shaqiri. I don't know if you've seen his form since he's been back in Belgium, Switzerland, but he is really living up to his moniker he was given earlier in his career as the Alpine Messi, and he has been slaying it. And against us, like Shaqiri, Shaqiri did so much damage to us in that Inter Milan game. You might remember it. I was at it. The Guidetti game, if you remember that. And I know he's older and all the rest of it, yada yada, but he could cause us a lot of problems. And Albion Ajeti, I know what you're going to say about that, but he is on good form for them. And it happened with Joe Inga Berget as well, or whatever the fuck his name was, with Malmo or Molda or whatever. These guys have got a habit of scoring against you again. So I don't want Basel. There's just too much, and we've got a wee bit of history with Basel as well, as you guys know, when they had Murat and Hakan Yakin back in the day. So I would rather stay away from Basel personally. I want the easiest draws available. And yeah, I think the club would try that kind of thing, Thomas. Like, you know, we kind of called it the Bernabe principle before, where like you loan these guys out, you manage to make profit on them because they play better somewhere else other than Scotland. You then take that money and do something with it. We've still not actually done anything with the Bernabe money, in fact, did we? So I would like Taylor to stay as well. Oh, some of you guys fancy Basel. We'll also get Frimpong money coming our way as well, which I think as Celtic fans we've been spending that money before it's came in for the last 3 seasons, haven't we? Take care. Strange Love Doctor. Thanks for popping in, my man. How many we need? I think, Roger says 2 to 3 high quality, and I think that's the kind of basis for where we go. And that is a very good point, Thomas, that, Engels only gets better from here. The only way is up. I'm totally with you on that one. McLaughlin P again on fire. A CB, a CM, 2 wingers and another striker before we've lost anyone. That's quite ambitious. I think we could sign that amount of players, but I think like some of them would be prospects, like 3 million and under type players. And AGSC Tech, I wouldn't change our defense at all. Defense is the one department where continuity builds confidence. Yeah, I'm a proponent of that. I'm a proponent of that as well. Well done, Big Ange, of course, as well. And the comments keep flying in. Let me see what else we can put up here. Rather have Kvitsgarden than Strelic. Now, somebody actually mentioned this about Yuito Suzuki, that it's there from Celtic fan. Thank you very much. But Yuito Suzuki, did we cover him on this show, actually? I think we might have done. Let me go and get the page up. But he is now moving to Freiburg, I think, isn't it? It's Freiburg or Frankfurt? I think it's Freiburg. Let me check. Select league. Danish Super League. Is that it? Or is that the Swiss Super League? I don't know what Super League that is, but it's not the one we're after. Where is the Danish Superliga? Or is that? Yeah, I think it's Superliga. No. My filters aren't playing ball with me here. Let's just look at Challenger. That should bring them up. So there's the guys from Holland. I'll put this on screen for you in a second once I can find what I'm looking for. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong region. I've looked at Challenger rather than... Oh, no. I have looked at the right thing. It's just the filter's broken. It's giving me all the wrong stuff. Love that. Okay. Where are we? Doesn't appear so. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned Yuito Suzuki on the channel. I just don't think he's made this series. Or if he has, I've not got the right filter to show it. Can I even do nationality? One club? Yeah. There we go. Bromby. B. Bromby's proper name does start with Bromby, doesn't it? It's not like one of these silly names where it's... Can I type in? Bromby. There we go. Bromby IF filter. No, we didn't feature him on this. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, with him moving, I think that's the kind of price range we're looking for a Kivitz Garden, but with him moving, Bromby actually, so this is probably an interesting thing to look at, right? So let's go and do that. Share screen. And let's see the Danish league, where I think Bromby were pushing for Champions League spots. I'm not too sure how they finished up in the end. But if they're losing Yuito Suzuki to the Bundesliga, it makes me think they're going Europa League rather than, Conference League. Yeah, so if they finish Conference League, they might even lose out, by the way, to that. So, yeah, that's probably why they're selling. And if they're going to be selling, Kivitz Garden could be back on the menu. So we have 101 players in here. Now, I'm kind of all over the place now with the comments, but I'll come back. Powell, yeah, I can't remember where it is. 100% a player. Can't believe we spent the money on Eden instead of him last summer. I think Celtic have been in a tough wicket with some of these transfers and some of the signings. Might have an option to give Ricardo a long-term contract and loan to Motherwell. The Lennon Miller thing's just not going to happen. I've seen today links to Strasbourg, and I've got it on good authority that Frankfurt are also quite keenly interested. So Strasbourg, Frankfurt, who else? He's moving to Europe. We would need to sell Hatate and buy him as a replacement. It's the only way it would happen for me. Lennon Miller will not come to Celtic. Yeah, we're on the same page. Josh Clark back instead. Who's Josh Clark? PK, that's a new name on me. Josh Clark. And yet, I agree Tierney could give Scales a new dimension, because the way, not the way Taylor is in terms of quality or whatever, but the way Taylor plays that whole wild card inverted fullback thing, Scales has got that whole channel to protect himself. Yeah, as Freiburg. And having Tierney in there as a proper left back, you might just get another gear out of Scales, I believe. I could see that happening. I could see Ange coming for Dyson if he's kept on. The elephant in the room is Dyson possibly leaving. How the hell would you address that particularly big hole in the squad? You would need to spend. Dyson is he is quite genuinely irreplaceable. And I didn't feel the same way about Kyogo. I really do feel this way about Dyson, that he would be irreplaceable. You'd get somebody who could fill his goal quota. You maybe get someone that covers his versatility, but someone who actually does what he does. The only people I can liken him to in European football is Lautaro Martinez and Julian Alvarez, sincerely, And I know they are levels above him, but in terms of that kind of profile and whatever, and yeah. So these are the teams we could be getting. And I think we need Rijeka to win the Croatian league. If Rijeka win the Croatian league, then they are unseeded. If Zagreb or Hajduk were to do it, then they become seeded, I believe. Rijeka are in pole position coming into this one, and it could go either way. Hajduk Split are managed by Rino Gattuso, who is probably going to be the next Rangers manager the way things are going, which will be hilarious because he is a fucking basket case, as we know, at the best of times. But yeah, we want Rijeka to hold on to the league here to make us in a better position. Let's see. Hail Walker, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, so GG was actually close to moving back to MLS with LAFC. It didn't quite materialize for one reason or another. But he went to Mexico. He left America with Atlanta because he said he hated it. None of the games had tempo. None of the games had like desire in it. In terms of like, MLS is entertainment. MLS is like the WWF or WWE or whatever of football or soccer. It's probably better calling MLS soccer than football because it's the same sport, obviously, but the way the league is designed and just the way the league actually plays, it's just a different animal. Giakoumakis didn't like it. Mexico is very European in that regard. The fans are fucking mental, fill out their stadiums, highly competitive, and he really enjoyed that. But I think he's fallen out with the club, the manager, whatever. He's on a super pay packet as well. He has made a bucket of money since leaving Celtic. So yeah, he's been linked with them. Yeah, so Matinho, I actually know Matinho pretty well. I've actually got him on fantasy football. I picked this guy up. He's owned by CFG Man City, and he is not going to go at Rangers. Maybe on loan, right? Because as we've seen with Rangers the last 2 to 3 seasons, they've got no problem bringing in really good players on loan for one season with no buy option. So could he do that? He's only been in Basel since January, since moving from Sparta Rotterdam in Holland, where he couldn't really get a kick of the ball. And since kind of getting bled into the team, I seen the link to Rangers, and the Daily Ranger called him Pogba, a Pogba type player. He's definitely got those kind of credentials and whatever, but highly thought of Brazilian wonder kid is not transferring to Rangers for 2 million quid or whatever. So he'd be great for us, probably a loan, but so it would cost a few quid. Oh, okay. He's a goalkeeper on loan. Nice. Thank you very much, Celtic fan. It's early doors yet. It could all be downhill from here. But I appreciate that. If you are enjoying the stream, guys, the number one thing you can do to support the stream is hit the like button. It just means YouTube knows we're having a good time here. We're having fun. And they're going to then push the stream out to other Celtic fans and go, hey, do you want to come and join this party? And the more Jungle Gyms we've got in the chat, the better. Now, McLaughlin Pete is bringing up Kings Kangwa. Now, Kings Kangwa is a streets won't forget type player. Oh, he's actually in Israel at the moment. But this guy's had some cred. I think it was Russia. In Russia, this guy was just a monster. Absolutely killed it over there. For a really rubbish team, did everything from midfield. And yeah, he's got the right sort of profile. But the thing that worries me about Kings Kangwa is he's played in Russia, a very lonely team in Belgium, Red Star, of course, and now he finds himself, of course, at Hapoel Beersheva. So he's been around long enough. Enough people have scouted him. Why is he still in the outskirts of European football? Goal difference is in their favour. That is weird, actually. Good point there, M. Young. Goal difference is in their favour over Rijeka. I wonder if head-to-head goes before goal difference in Croatia. Because flash scores don't get stuff like that wrong, in my experience, personally. So maybe it's head-to-head. I don't know if will we be nosy and check out the head-to-head here. Do we care that much? Zagreb beat them. Yeah, I don't care that much. I don't care that much to look at the head-to-head for it all. So yeah, good shouts are coming from the chat of other players we should look at and consider, of course. In the event that Rijeka win the league because of head-to-heads. There we go. The chat always know what's going on. F.A. Ambrose, welcome to the chat, mate. Thanks very much for the super chat. Love that. Thanks for supporting the channel, mate. Love to hear it. I heard you did a great job at Celtic Park for the I don't know what it was, but the warm-up had the pitch. and Paul John Dykes was there, and the warm-up guys, Chris Sutton, Chris Boyd, and everyone else. So I heard you scored a worldie, big man. Did a wee somersault or two as well, so well done. Thanks a lot for the super chat. Head-to-head is in the separation. Oh, is it? I didn't see that. I heard it was a worldie. I heard from Paul John Dykes, and then I heard from Chris Sutton and co. It was an absolute better 420 somewhere. One of my favourites. Good to see you, mate. You're everywhere. You're always here as well. Fucking love to see it. Thank you very much. The head-to-head rule only kicks in on the last day only. Got you. Hail, hail, Quinny boy. Thanks again, 420. Love the support. So if we can go a step backwards to kind of get back to where we're actually at for a second, right? If we're going to make a short list again, we want to prioritize what we've got going on. Okay, so I think we're all on the same page. A midfielder is top of the agenda. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page that a forward of some description is top of the agenda, and then a backup left back is 100% on the menu. Kind of everything else is open to circumstance. Players that leave, players that are available that we can maybe get a wee deal done for, that sort of thing. Oh, Celtic fan, you've got a wee list here. Let's put that on screen. Kaita Kosugi at Djurgardens. I've not looked at Sweden, so that's a new name on me. Matinho, of course, Kvitsgarden. A guy at Hammarby. Hammarby's also Sweden. I've not looked there yet. Adaman Nagalo at PSV. I'll look at him. Let me put him on screen, and I'll go back to what I was planning on doing, because that's a new name on me. PSV do have wonder kids. The only problem with getting these types of guys is PSV are probably... he's a centre-back. Let's put that on screen. Do we want to add this guy? Oh. It's been a long week, guys. I beg my pardon, please. Okay, so he's been coming through for PSV this year. A couple of appearances off the bench. He's had a couple of starts, not many. And I'm sure he's probably got some youth credentials and all the rest of it. Oh, who is that playing for? Oh my God, Nordisland. Oh yeah, he's come out of the Nordisland Academy. You already know. PSV have probably paid a few quid for this guy, because they don't sell anyone for buttons anymore. Let's have a look at this guy. What did PSV pay? Yeah, market value 7 million. Same height as me. Right-footed. And let's see. North Zealand. Must be what it translates from. That's hilarious. But yeah, transfer for 7 million quid last September. That's not going to happen. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I don't know. And so the website I use for statistics, this one here, is called Sorare Data. So all this runs off Opta statistics. And the way Sorare Fantasy Football works, the thing I mainly play with, is it gives you a player rating, a score, out of 100 rather than out of 10. And the way it works is really clever. And for me, it's the best rating system on the internet for football players, because it's transparent, number one, so you can tell what's composed the statistics or the rating, who scored, Sofa Score. All these types of websites don't really reveal what goes into the secret sauce of their ratings, and it's always out of 10. They're normally quite similar. So I really like how this is really transparent. You can see how the score's built up. But the ingenious thing about it is it's broken into two categories. You get a decisive score, which starts at 35 if you appear in the match from the start or from the bench. You just start at 35. If you do something positive, goal, assist, goal line clearance, last man tackle, win a penalty, it goes from 35 to 60. And then from then onwards, it's worth an additional 10 points. So if you get a goal and an assist, your decisive score would be 70. If you get a goal, an assist, or a goal and 2 assists, or a hat-trick, let's say, your score would be 80, so on and so forth. If you get 2 goals and get sent off, your score would be 60. You get up to 70, then you get a negative decisive for the red card, it would pull you back to 60, okay? On the other side of that, you get all-around score, and that is built up of all the little micro actions that happen in the game. Tackles, passes, possession won, possession lost, yada, yada. And then those scores mash together to give you the rating. I absolutely love it because it's one of the most best reflective things of like if you see someone have a good game, it really does show on this one. It's not perfect, of course. Statistics are never perfect for showing you how good someone can be, has been. But as far as these things go, this for me is by far and away the best one going. Sorare Data is a website as well. It's very easy to use and very good for seeing all these kind of things. And like again, I said, all this information is pulled from Opta, and Opta is like the stats provider for everyone in the world. Levi Garcia, Dara O'Shea. Levi Garcia is a name I want to check because that's just not somebody I have heard of, or maybe it is, but I don't think so. Levi Garcia. Oh, I've not watched Russian football for a year or two. Not really much to go on here. Spartak have been really good, and if he's not been really involved in stuff, they've been a wee bit off since the winter break, but it could be okay. I'll look into him in a bit more another time. Dara O'Shea, is he Ipswich? Yeah, that's a possibility, by the way, getting relegated. Decent wage packet. Ipswich will still want some money for him if he's not out of contract. Let's just check the contract situation. Doubtful a guy like this has a significant relegation clause because he's also been a championship player with them in the past. Market value at 14 million. And contract goes to 2029. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see it. I love that observation, Celtic fan. And no need to apologise for the bombardment. Keep them coming. Yeah. McLaughlin P, I like that guy too. We're on the same page. I agree. He is very talented and I would take him in a heartbeat. Is he right wing? I thought he was left wing. You're probably right. I'm just remembering it wrong. No, I don't think they do, mate, sadly. And again, Red Star is just not someone I'm really up on. The Serbian league. Ayase Ueda is in the list, has featured on the Dutch episode. For me, Ayase Ueda is in the top 3 Kyogo replacements. Like if you actually want, or even Maeda, if you actually want someone that can replace what they do, Ayase Ueda is a wee bit injury prone, but fits the bill entirely. Ndidi, I could see happening. Brendan Rodgers has got him in his phone book. That's a nice relegation clause. We need that kind of guy. He does have good experience. I could see that happening, actually. And yeah, I echo that sentiment. The Serbian winger, did he play in Holland? I'm not sure he did. Let's look at him since we're chatting about him so much. Zivkovic. I'm not going to try and spell his first name because it's Andrija. Is it Pau? He's won 2 Portuguese championships with Benfica. He's won a Portuguese Cup. He's won a Greek championship, a Greek Cup, 2 Serbian championships. I'll open this on another tab. We'll see the rest of his honours. That's a winner, by the way. 28 years old, consistently in the Serbia team. Ooh. I could get behind this. But I think they're paying him a lot of money. I think Pau are a rich club. In general terms, I think he's been paid a fair whack of cash to go and play for them, to be honest with you. Can we see his position? Yeah, mainly a right winger, but can play left. I think he's played left for Serbia a few times, and that's why I think that. If we have a wee look at Zivkovic on Sorare Data, we'll have a look at his full honours list here, because it is quite impressive. Portuguese champions, we've seen all that stuff. Serbian Cup winner and under-20 world champion. Former wonder kid. As if you're not Portuguese and Benfica play, you like it normally means something pretty good, especially as a kid, you know. But Zivkovic will only be, because Pau doesn't get good Opta coverage, Greece, so we won't see his Greece scores. We'll only see what he's done internationally in UEFA competitions, essentially. So let's just do this for Serbia. Very consistent. Right mid, left mid, right mid, right mid, right mid. Yeah, he's mainly a right mid. You're spot on there, McLaughlin P, as always. And then if we look at Pau, again, this is UEFA competition. This must be Conference League. Oh no, it must be Europa League. He played Man United. He did well enough at that level. 5-1 against Zagreb. Wish we did that. Scored against Frankfurt twice. Big game player. Played against Aberdeen twice. Wasn't a huge impact in that match, it must be said. Played Hearts, battered them, which is fun to see. So we know we can play Scottish teams. We know that. Anything else? Granada? When the hell were they in Europe? 2020? Do not remember that. Played against PSV and slayed them. Maybe that's what you're thinking. Oh, and he played against Benfica. Wee revenge match there. Can we see any? No, we don't have much Benfica to go on this one. So interesting. I've almost caught up with the chat. Yeah, Pau pay a lot of money. Pau play. Oh, Ben Negren. By the way, David Stalker, you have got fantastic taste in players. Bringing Ben Negren into the chat. Ben Negren, I would fucking love us to buy. This guy is talented. Talented. He's went back to Nordisland after it not really working out in Holland. Who was he at? Heerenveen? Yeah. Heerenveen didn't really work out too well. I'm not really too sure why or how or whatever. I think Van Persie was a Heerenveen manager for a minute. Don't know if that was part of it. As you can see, he's done okay. And again, the thing about the scoring that I like here is even if they don't score goals, but they play really well, it does show for an attack-based player like this, if they can get like into the 50s, high 40s, it's normally a good contribution from a forward-based player just because they see the ball less often compared to midfield and defence and whatever. He was at Genk for a minute. I didn't even know that. Barely played, obviously. But since returning to Nordisland, is he Danish? No, he's Swedish. But since returning to Scandinavia, you could probably say he's had more than one stint there, which is why I said returning, because he's been there prior. He has been on fire. Can play centre mid. He's an attack-based player, can play up front. Ben Negren would be a top quality option. Will we add him into the list? Let's add him into the list. I love that you brought him up. I don't think I would have brought him up personally. I just think he's going to have a really punchy transfer value. And he's not long back there. I may have mentioned him in the Danish episode as like, I wish we got him or I wish we went for him. But I didn't really go much further. He's only valued at 3 million euros. Contract expires December. Is that a loan? No. Wow. If this is accurate, wow. If this is accurate, that is a sincerely top shelf shout, David Stalker. Fucking love that. We're getting a wee bit of Rooney shout. I think he's going to the Bundesliga. Dario Osorio's not bad either. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do think the Negren is Venegar's son any good? Couldn't tell you. Can you send a link to the website? Yeah, of course. What I'll do is I'll send you a link to the watch list that we've got here. So Celtic transfer targets. You should be able to pop straight onto this page. I'll put this in the chat for you. So if you want to check out the list entirely that we've got here, and I'll just give you the Sorare data link as well in case that doesn't open for you. If you've not got an account, it might not open. But the site will work for you. Maybe just you won't get my watch list, if that makes sense. So the site in general is here. Oh, I don't think that went well. Sorry. Let me do that again. There we go. Big Jan's son's only just made his debut. Fair enough. Right. So the one thing I like about the watch list feature that I've got on this website as well is it can show us out of the 102 players. We just added Ben Negren on. We should probably just delete him if he's going to the Prem. We've got 101 players. Of that, we've got 52 midfielders. We've got 27 strikers or forwards. Some of these guys could be wingers, attack midfielders, whatever. We've only got 3 goalkeepers and we've got 20 defenders. Overall, the average, we've got 61 guys aged between 19 and 23. We've got 33 guys aged between 24 and 28. 4 guys 29 and over. 1 guy 34 and over. And 3 guys under the age of 18. Okay. Now, I think the first way I want to filter this is by position, right? So I'm just going to do goalkeeper first so we can bat this one to the side, okay? But in goals, if we are going to lose Bain, none of these guys really tick the homegrown quota thing. So I don't think we're really going to take any of them into the shortlist, as it were. We've got a 16-year-old that's debuted. That's the only reason he made the list. I'm a big fan of Jordan Amisa. I think that could be a nice Moneyball effort for the club. Question is, Quinny, we can all see so many talented young players throughout Europe, so why can't our scouts? Because they need to hire me. They need to give me the job, that's why. Or give us all the job, that'd be fun. There have been some great shouts for realistic targets on this pod. Only 6 weeks to wait until, yeah. We'll try and sign some of them in the final hour of the window. William O'Toole, you're spot on there. So yeah, I don't think there's any goalkeepers. Like, if they're going to go for Ross Doohan or Josh Clark or whatever for the homegrown quota, we've also got a homegrown guy that's been on loan at Dunfermline that maybe comes into the reckoning for this as well. I don't think anyone that we've got in goals is going to make the shortlist, okay? If we go to defence, we need backup left back. We all agree on that. If we could get an exceptional centre back into the club, I think we would take that as well. Now, looking at the centre backs that we've got, or the defenders, I should say, sorry. This is who we've got. How many of them do we have defenders? 20. Right, okay. So let's have a wee glance through. Who are the 20 defenders that we've previewed on the channel already that we think could make the grade? We've got Faisal Al-Mazani. Let me just refresh myself on him. He's a right-back centre-back. Probably not going to be there. Harwood Bellis is a dream for me, and I put him into this because I thought if we are serious about upgrading defence, that's the calibre we probably have to go for. I included Talaverov in this as well because Plymouth have been relegated. He's just moved there from Austria. He's a Ukraine international. I've seen him in youth international football be exceptionally good, and he's got a relegation clause, so that could just be a sneaky one. I like Wout Faes. He's in Brendan's phone book. Noah Ellie at New York Red Bulls is a good talent in that league, but I'm not that buzzing on him. George Campbell, I would be much happier with, but like I mentioned in that episode, he is rather injury prone. But this guy is like a mixture. He's like the same pace, if not faster than Trusty, and he's just as powerful as Vickers. American as well, so in theory should blend in with the rest of the defence, but he is injury prone. Now, Falou Fal here was one of my favourite defenders that we found in the series so far. And right after we previewed him, he got linked to somewhere decent, but not somewhere he should go to if we were interested, if that makes sense. Left-footed centre-back, performing very, very well for Fredrikstad, who won the Norwegian Cup, quite surprisingly. And he's been one of their standout players. Looks like a very well-rounded, very good profile for a centre-back. Scandinavian clubs are not getting ripped off as much anymore. Oh, Mark McKenzie. Mark McKenzie's probably ship sailed for us, I think. I don't think we'll be getting him out of France. I'm like you. I've been wanting Harwood Bellis to Celtic for a number of years. Keys Smith. I'll check into him in a minute, buddy. Remind me about that later. But I think this is a very Celtic transfer. If we did shift Naroki, Lager BLK, Welsh and Co., Falou Fal at the age of 21 would be an apex prospect. I really like the idea of him in general. And yeah. Now, as I'm kind of glancing across this, I'm thinking left back because that is kind of the number one defence type that we need. Triantis has been categorised here as a defender. He must have played defence before coming to Sunderland and playing in midfield. But Penrice. Now, Penrice probably won't be leaving now because of the development at Hearts. But I do think domestically he's the only left back worth considering. I put Richie Taylor in here because he's a good defender in the league. I just want to give him a shout out, but I don't think we can carry on with that. Coletta Carr, I'm still a big fan of. This is the guy that could really upgrade our top end of the defence for sure. And I can't remember the full ins and outs of it, but the availability for him is promising for this window, as is Toronariga. Matt Smets is a very, very good prospect. These guys are like best 11 Celtic defenders if they were to come in. Urko can play defensive midfielder rather than defence. and the rest of these guys are kind of in that ilk as well. But if I'm thinking about the whole left back, centre back thing, I think the number one target is Mika Marmol. No two ways about it. Las Palmas, where are they sitting in the league? Are they still under threat? Have they been relegated? Are they still fighting? Can't really remember. Let's just double check that for a moment. But Mika Marmol plays enough at left back and centre back. Yeah, Las Palmas relegated. So Mika Marmol for me is a top prospect. Now let's make a new watch list, and we'll call this the Celtic shortlist. And ideally, we want like 25-ish guys to come onto this, give or take. I'm not going to be like that has to be that number or whatever, but let's add them into the shortlist because Mika Marmol can play left back, can play centre back, can do everything we want him to. Does upgrade us in defence, is an absolute box ticker. Kiki Salas, I'm not too sure would be available to the club. Maybe he would, but Sevilla been rubbish. I don't know if he'll really stand out. Otherwise, I'm not sure there's many other defenders here. Like, I really like Torunariga. Like, I really like him. I think he's at a good age. He's got good experience. Was very good in the Bundesliga. Has been very good in Belgium. Is out of contract, if I remember rightly. Yeah, he is out of contract in the summer. Free transfer, which is Celtic's favourite price. Ahmed Touba, we were linked to when he played in Holland. He then went to Turkey, did very well, and now he's in Belgium. Injuries are probably a bit too frequent for him. I think, yeah, out of the rest of these, I think Matt Smets is probably the only other one. Or maybe Coletta Carr. I don't know. Matt Smets for me, but is like high-end prospect. Left-footed centre-back. Will cost a lot of money, but is going to be worth it. If he comes to us and does well in the Champions League, this is a guy you sell to the Premier League, double your money very quickly, very easily, in my opinion. Will we be the only team interested in him? No. He's very much a rising star in European football. Coletta Carr does feel like quite a Celtic signing. Leon have qualified for Europe. I don't know if that makes things easier or not. He is contracted for 1 more year. He's on big wages. Leon have no money. Big wages by Leon standards, certainly. So maybe there is availability for him. But yeah, I'm not too sure that's a real jump off the page effort, is it? Michaela Fay, I really like as a wonder kid. But again, I don't see us paying money for him or whatever. I'm going to add Torunariga to the shortlist because I do think physical properties, experience, age, free transfer probably just about makes a difference from there. Now, we're actually really lacking in backup left backs. I kind of thought Penrice or Taylor would just probably be the default situation. But with Hearts hiring McInnes and, the whole Tony Bloom thing and whatever, Brighton stuff, I don't see them giving us players anymore. Not that we really buy players from Hearts, but don't see it happening now. So we actually need to get quite cute on this show for backup left backs. We'll maybe dedicate a show to that and just go around the world looking for prospect left backs. Let me know. I would love to add Harwood Bellis into this, right? But with him recently getting into the England squad, I echo this point here. He's going to be way out of our price range. Southampton they want 100 million for Tyler J. Dibbling or Tyler Dibbling, whatever his name is. And they want like 50, 60 million for Fernandez. This is a team that has been relegated and been absolutely shit all year. So Harwood Bellis would probably cost our whole transfer fee. I put him into this because of the category we were analysing at the time. And it was much more of a wishful, hopeful thing. Because if we were serious about making the defence stronger, that's the sort of guy we should be hunting down. But yeah, I don't think there's really much else I would take from defence here. I'm going to slide this into midfield for a moment. I'll take a wee pause for the cause to see what you guys are thinking and feeling. Oh, Penrice is away to West Brom. So you guys, let's look at this Kosugi. Let's have a look at this Kosugi. Keita. Oh, Djurgårdens. Yeah, I'm not really going to get much of a picture on this guy other than his UEFA competitions. Djurgården did get to the Conference League semi-final, so hat tip to them. They didn't really need to beat anyone credible along the way, but it must be said, But yeah, like this is the Rocky had this kind of tail of the tape when we got him. Let's look at the Rocky. Because again, Polish football isn't really that well covered in terms of Opta and whatnot. But his tail of the tape, yeah, it was less, and it was Europa League. But yeah, kind of similar. Like, did well against these types of teams in that type of competition or whatever. So I like that shout. Is like that's a really good scouting shout, by the way, Celtic fan. You've done a great job to find him. I like the shout. Don't know enough about him to really go further than that. I think I'll add him into the list, but for sure, will I put him in the shortlist? Japanese guy in Sweden, yeah, feels like a move we could go for. Let's add him into the shortlist. Great shout, great contribution, mate. You're on fire today. Absolutely love it. And by the way, anyone that's watching this after we've been live, I always check comments. So any comments you want to leave, feel free. I will see them. I will catch them. I will add your contributions into the conversation as well. Yeah, Mark McKenzie was at Genk as well. Mark McKenzie, I said we should have bought him when he was in America. I was doing that. I was doing Celtic content on my own channel back then. And who did we sign? We signed Carter Vickers, in fact. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was Carter Vickers we signed that summer. But Mark McKenzie, along with Austin Trusty, by the way, Mark McKenzie, Austin Trusty, Miles Robinson. There was like, there's another one as well. I'm forgetting who it was, but there was like 4 or 5 really good American defenders that all came through into the league at the same time. McKenzie was clearly the best. They won the league. And yeah, I don't think we're going to get McKenzie out of France, personally. Yeah, I like that. Ange liked that kind of vibe as well. You know, when he bought Vicario for Tottenham, and not really Van de Ven. Wolfsburg were shit, but Van de Ven was doing a lot of work for them. There's somebody else Ange done that with. I can't remember who right now. I know he liked that for Yang or O for us as well. Can't remember which one. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep up with the chat, guys. Torunariga, is that? Was he linked to Celtic before? I never knew that. That's great. Hopefully that was a real link. He's free now. Celtic love free transfers, especially guys that have been in for as well. Square Sausage, Mike, good to see you. Maybe our scouting department have sounded out many of these players and their agents have said not. And yeah, it's very possible, mate. What do we know? Nothing. Very possible. Guindo from Salzburg. I don't think he plays that much, does he? Salzburg have been a bit minced for a while. Yeah, he's like broken, this guy. I don't think he plays much. He's always. I knew this guy wasn't a player in terms of like active. Yeah, this guy's always injured. I still like Beck, by the way. I actually really like that shout. Knows the league. We kind of know what we get from him. Is he Champions League level? I don't know, but I still like Owen Beck. I think we should have. I would have liked to have signed him when he coming out of Dundee. Personally, I like Owen Beck. I just don't think. Yeah, I just don't think the club are good. If they were going to go in for him, they've done it by now. Unless Liverpool have dramatically dropped the asking price or something. McKenzie went in 2021. Yeah. So it was that's when I wanted McKenzie. I thought that was about right. Excellent. Okay, so defense, I think we're kind of on the same page. Great contribution for the additional left back shout as well from, I think it was David Stalker, wasn't it? Big too small? I don't remember him being small. Is he? I thought he was quite a strapping lad. Oh, typo. Oh, shorter than me. Fair enough. I don't know why. Maybe it's a TV thing or just my recollection of him. I don't know why I thought he was a strapping big left back. Right, so let's go back to the. Can I just press back on this page, maybe? There we go. Awesome. Right, now when we get to midfield, the thing with this is profile, right? So I firmly need and want to see a hard man midfielder in here, a guy that can sniff out danger, a guy that knows where to be, when it's all hands to the pump, battle stations, counter attacks happening, whatever. I want a guy that's got that nose for danger. That's what I want. And there's a bit of that in here. I think there's a bit of flair and a bit of technical ability. And, there's actually, how many midfielders do we have here? We've probably got quite a few because I love midfielders. 52 right now. I've seen Krastev here. He's more of a forward in my book. Same with Jack and Briam. So not all of these guys are like mids, as it were. Michael Sadlek, right, is an interesting one. Can play left back, can play defensive mid. And if memory serves me from when we did this, when we did his episode, I think his contract is quite loose, or quite close to being loose. Excuse me again. Yeah. Contract up in 1 year. And can play left back, can play defensive mid. It feels like an ideal profile, doesn't it? I really like Sadalek to go onto the shortlist. Kodai Sano here is like Hatate, but a bit bigger. Not quite as flary from what I've seen. Brownhill, I believe, is probably going to come in by all accounts, the way things feel and sound. I really like the likes of Shea Charles and Borja Sainz, even Jacob Wright, City guy down at Norwich. Norwich have activated him, by the way. Someone gave me the intel that he has met his criteria for the buy option. He's now a Norwich player. Vinny Souza, if Sheffield don't get promoted, this is one to really look at and watch out for. My number one midfielder I would want us to buy, but is Pedro Vite, and I'm just going to stick him into the thing because he is the complete midfielder for what we want. I am very much a Jack McGlynn fan as well. Now, MLS isn't the best place to go shopping for a lot of things, but Pedro Vite, if you want to go and check him out, he plays for Vancouver, the same team as Ryan Gauld. He can play up front. He's a machine. Like, he would be amazing for us. I've got no question about it. Same as Jack McGlynn, 23 and 21 respectively. Pedro Vite in that kind of golden age Ecuador squad that they've got at the moment. Nice international prospects. And Jack McGlynn is like, go and check out the MLS episode, but I cannot speak highly enough of this kid. His contract is up in December, and that should be something we're all over, to be honest with you. Felix Meyer profiles very, very well in Norway. At 26, I'm not too sure that's the profile we'll go for. Kronvik at 25 is maybe similar. Broholm and Evian, much more attack-based. I really like Antonio Blanco. Alaves, but are not going to get relegated. Kocherashvili is what led us to La Liga that time because he was linked to us, but he's going to Sporting Lisbon, isn't he? So we're not going to be getting him. We've got Delorge Nieper. Joachima Fujita has been linked to... I think it's Greece. I think someone in Greece wants to spend a lot of money on him. Again, he's maybe not quite as sound defensively as I would like as someone is like a Tetrawe, who, by the way, on further analysis after previewing him, he is not disappointing. This is a guy if we're scouting Belgium, we should be really looking at here. He's only recently joined. He's 21. A lot of promise, and a long way to go in his career still. He plays with compatriot Adam Zorgan, who's much more in the Matt O'Reilly, Arnie Engels replacement mode. Much more technical, much more attacking. I like Cuisance a lot. And again, a lot of these guys I could spend all day talking about. Noah Siddiqui we've actually been linked to, but when we sent scouts to watch Balikwisha, Noah Siddiqui and Franjo Ivanovic were two players they came away excited for. Janis Stoikers, I would consider more as a forward spot, to be honest with you. Reina for banter, Skov and Dorsch, Skelly Alvaro on the budget, Khalil Fayad, Skeeta. This Skeeta guy, by the way, is very Hatate. I think if we were going to try and be cute, this is one of the most Hatate-like players I've seen through all this kind of scouting. The scores don't really show how good he is, but this looks quite similar to the way Hatate looks, to be honest with you. Like, he's playing in France Ligue 2, which isn't the highest level, but so many burgeoning talents are coming out of that league over the last 10 years. I wouldn't write it off. He's a Finland international as well. And he's still actually quietly one of my favourites. If Hatate was to leave, as a guy we should investigate. The only question mark I have around these prospect types is there we go. Charlie, good to see you, mate. Good to see you in the Wild West out here. But could Skeeta play Champions League? I don't know. Same with Tatrawi. Could he play Champions League? It's a gamble we are taking with a move like that, which is why I'm really like Joris Chotard. He's been relegated. He's a highly decorated France Youth International, plays in the exact position that we want, has a great range of passing to boot, very effective defensively. And by the way, Valentin Atanya was one of my favourite CDMs that was spotted. Ream have been relegated now. So this guy is available. No two ways about it. He's going to be playing Ligue 2 next year. And 19 years old, profile off the charts. And I don't think he's going to want to play Ligue 2. I think he wants to play Champions League, So I really like Atanga. I think Chotard and Atanga are guys that should definitely go on the shortlist. They're ripe for the picking. They've played at a good level in Europe already. And, the clubs are selling them. So I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of Killian Phillips, and I've seen some more of you guys in and around the Celtic fan community like Killian Phillips as well. He was really impressive. Not the last time we played St Mirren, but the time before. And as a guy that could be like the next Luke McKeown, like to be like what Luke McKeown is to Hatate, Killian Phillips could be to Engels. So I quite like him as a prospect in general. Not too sure that's the level we'll go to. I've ruled out Lennon Miller already. Will Ferry is back up left back. I don't think we can worry about that. Josh Mulligan's probably going to go to Hearts or something now. And I still really like the thought of David Watson. High energy, good at pressing, box to box, line to line midfielder. But again, I don't think he's on the priority list as well. Same as John Patrick, the Irishman at Ream as well. So I think Chotard and Atanya definitely go on to the short list here. I'm going to take a wee pause for the cause. You guys can let me know what you think about midfield and what we've been saying. I'm going to try and go back and keep up with the chat here. I watch a lot of football and I play a lot of fantasy football. But I watch a lot of the guys that are involved in my fantasy football stuff. But the thing is, we're watching those players as they play other teams. And then you see that kind of thing. So you can very quickly, after doing that sort of thing for like, I don't know, I'm going to say like 3-4 months, like you'll be so surprised at like your recall on, oh, that guy played great in that game. I quite liked him. Because like stats tell you some of the stuff, right? But you need to see a guy to know what he's about, to see what he offers. How does he run? How fast is he? How hard does he shoot? How crisp is his passing? Which is why on this channel, it's all about that merger of eye test and data set. 100%, Michael. We need one more midfielder minimum, I would say. The Wallace guy, I'm not too high on him, to be honest with you. He's been all right. But I'm not too sure if he was in many. He wouldn't. He's lucky he's in Serie A. Let me say that. Oh, good catch, Charlie. Reams have a playoff. Fair enough. Sidibe boy. What's Sidibe boy are we linked with? Which one is it? Where does he play, the scout? Toulouse, Atalanta, RAAL Le Louvre, or St Johnson? Who are we talking about here? Bud Hill, bad boy. Yeah, a Celtic fan, Shaqiri would be brilliant, but he's not leaving Basel for us. He's like at Basel to, retire. Lennon Miller will not come to us. Lennon Miller wants to be. I don't want to say he wants to be guaranteed to play football, right? But see the situation. Imagine we signed him today. He's not going to play every week over Engels or Hatate. It's not even really that clear if he would be in the best 11. It's not even that clear how many Champions League games he'd play. And when you factor in the fact that he's still playing in Scotland and, how much of an upgrade in his progression does that really give him? Not very much. I think he needs to be guaranteed to start for us, personally. And he's not going to be, because unless Hatate or Engels leaves, he won't see that as possible. I'm sure he'll be happy to fight for his space in Germany or France, but there's a lot more significant development to come from that. You just need to look at Lewis Ferguson. Lewis Ferguson doesn't become how good he is staying at Aberdeen. Just doesn't happen. Or moving to Rangers from Aberdeen, for example. Can you narrow these players down based on education and youth pedigree? I don't think I can find out education. Youth pedigree we can check out, of course. Triantis, I'm all about that as well. I think he wants to go back to Hibs. Oh, okay, sorry. Triantis does everything. Domestically, again, you're taking a big chance on a guy like that making the step up to Champions League. Sekou Sidibe, you've said. This guy, let's have a peek. So he plays in the Belgian league below. I would need to really look further into this guy. I don't have any easy data to kind of get an overview of. So I would need to look into this guy in more detail. If we've been linked to him, that's interesting. We've been in Belgium scouting Balikwisha, of course. So that's a nice shout. Thanks for adding that. Oh, no, sorry. It's Kalidou Sidibe, Greencamp. Kalidou Greencamp. Oh, good. If we're shopping in France League 2, that. Oh, nice big midfielder. Looks the part. Okay, so let's see. He's lost 3-1. How did he do? He got fouled 4 times. Good at protecting the ball. He's won a tackle, clearance, 10 duels won, none lost. His team get battered 3-1 in this game, away from home. Passing accuracy is good. 14 missed passes, 16 possession lost. I could see that being throw-ins and stuff like that, maybe clearance type things. Not much of an attacking presence. Nice early sign. I don't like to look at, you could look at the game he scores 100 and go, oh, wow, look at this. But I'd rather look at the games where they don't do well or they're playing a top team, like Metz. Where were Metz? Yeah, lost to Metz. Only got 6 on all around for this. Tackles and clearances. Dual win is still good. A nice amount of passes as well. He looks like a good profile. They win 1-0, and yeah, he's bossed it from midfield here. But fouled once, won a few tackles, made blocks in clearances. Duels won. Yeah, he's a dual machine, this guy. I'm sure when we look at his physicality, it's probably going to be off the charts. Big chance missed. I don't think he's a finisher, is he? How many goals has he scored? 1 in the last year. Yeah, he's not a goal scorer, but that's fine. It's not what we really are overly after. Can I find a high scoring loss? That's kind of what I'm after here. So Red Star, that's the Paris team, isn't he? He did get an assist there, so that kind of skews what I'm looking for, actually. But I'm looking for a loss where maybe, 1-0 at home to Pau. Clearances. Yeah, the guy's a dual master. And when we compare him against other League 2 players in a moment, 1-0 away to Martigues. I don't know who they are. I think they're rubbish. I think they're towards the bottom of the table. But yeah, really, guys get solid dual capability. 1-on-1, 50-50, shoulder to shoulder, in the air type guy, Let's see. Yeah. This Dunkirk game is probably one of my favourite kind of matches as an indicator. Let's look at his best performance. I got 100 out of 100 here. Would have been 108 if the score would allow that. Tackles 5. Duels 112. Passes 74. long passes, accurate third passes. So if they attempted assists, wow. So if they're dominating, if he dominates a team, he can affect the final third. That's actually a really good shout. We're interested in him already. 26 is a bit old in that league for a prospect. That is. Let's have a peek. He is 2 meters tall. I knew this guy was a unit. Contract expires in 1 year. Yeah, I can see it. Where's he came from? Toulouse, one of the best academies in the world, if not Europe. Yeah, I like that. If we're linked to him, I like that. I just kind of scout for myself, really, to be honest with you. So with fantasy football, the way it works for me is like I need to buy the players. I need to spend money on the players I'm going to use. So I scout them for myself primarily. And a big part of it is because like when you buy them, you own them until you sell them. So I might buy guys that now that I think next year will be brilliant, or in 2 years will be brilliant, or that kind of vibe. I've applied for the Celtic first team analysis job. Yet to hear back from them. Probably won't hear back from them. I do have a UEFA license. I do have enough of the credentials and can work the systems and the software that they were asking for. But yeah, just for what you see, really, essentially. Oh, was that around October time? Chat's flying away again. Keith Smith. AZ. He's a CDM. Sorry, phone's beeped there. I better put that on silent. Beg my pardon, everyone. 19 AZ. These guys don't come cheap. Oh, look at this. So this is what I mean with this kind of thing is this guy every game is clocking up contributions, right? So a 1 each draw here with Almere City. That's off the bench. Let's ignore that. 1 each draw with Breda, right? So this is a team they've dominated possession against and they've drawn. So it's been quite tough. So he's had to tackle, clear. Jules one is the wrong way round. Passing stats is fine. A wee bit more final third. He is a young guy. He is only going to get better. Let's look at another tough game. A 2-2 draw. Fouled, tackles, clearances, blocks. Yeah, the duels are the wrong way around again. That's something I hold is quite, you need to look at the highlights really to see what the duels were. See if it's a wee bit frivolous that he's lost more than he's won. But generally, like the last guy we looked at, you've seen a great example there of a powerhouse midfielder, a guy that just wins his duels, wins his stuff. Played up front against Heracles. That's very interesting. Left attacking mid. He has some versatility. Goal and assist off the bench against Fenerbahce. Let's look at his transfer mark. I'm not too convinced this is somebody we'll actually be after. Maybe. Dutch Youth International, beg your pardon. Alkmaar's a pretty good academy. I think it's just a bit too early for a guy like that to be on the radar, to be honest. Look at Modric, who's only going to go to Zagreb or MLS. Zagreb or MLS. I think he's very much in the Tony Kroos category that he's not going to go to Saudi. Unless it was mad stupid money. But yeah, Modric will be MLS or Zagreb, I think. Maybe somebody like Inter Milan. Inter Milan love old guys. That would be beautiful, by the way. That would be beautiful. The guy's huge, isn't he? Oh, brilliant, Roscoe. Thank you very much, mate. Brendan's a subscriber on the channel. I don't know if he's been keeping up to date with the content. He's been quite busy recently. But Brendan's a subscriber. I just don't know if the HR manager that's going to see my application is a subscriber and will pass it up the food chain. Because Brendan, maybe I need you to put a good word in to tell him I've applied. Maybe the hiring manager or whoever's receiving the emails just bin that or something. Who knows? Sam Steen, yeah, I think he's just a wee bit too. Yeah, he's maybe even already moved. Yeah, that could be the case. Could be off to our bro. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Okay, so let me go back to this sheet. Okay, so I actually quite like the Sano guy profile wise, but I think Sadalek is probably one of my top shouts here. Brownhill, I think we're adding him into the shortlist. I just think that's very likely. Gives a bit of that Premier League quality, physicality, and a lot of people, see when we did the Brownhill video, we got a lot of feedback in the comments section, and I say a lot. We're talking about 3 or 4 guys probably saying stuff like, "Why would he come to Celtic? He's already played in the Premier League for Burnley." Already been in the Premier League, struggling against relegation. What's going to be different this time? Not very much. Been there, seen it, done it. He's 29. When is the next time a Champions League club is going to come in for him? When is the next time a club that's going to come in for him that's going to help him win medals and all the rest of it? And if Burnley are going to offer him 50k and we're going to offer him 30k, at this point in his career, if our contract is 3 years and Burnley's is 2, he's taking ours, in my opinion. I actually don't play Chat Manager, Mo. When I turned 18, I banned myself from Football Manager because I would have not got a job. I would not have went into the workforce. I would have stayed in my house and played Football Manager and probably turned into Asmongold, something like that. And you do not need to worry about that, Mo. Trust me. You do not need to worry about that. Strange Love the Doctor, Nico Paz. Real Madrid want him back. They want him back from Como. Inter Milan is Nico Paz is Inter Milan's top target, and they're not going to get him because Real want him. And exactly, like, what are you going to do at Burnley next year, Josh Brownhill? So again, like, if Burnley do offer him a contract, how long is it? Because if it's to take him till he's 31, do you know what? Celtic are not going to phone you up at 31. We'll give you a contract till you're 32. And at that point, like, see whatever deal you would get leaving Burnley at 31, you'll probably get that leaving Celtic at 32. MLS, Championship again, whatever. We will find out what the football doctor... Yes, we will. We will. Not sure if you missed the above, but as of late last week, he is not in talks with us. I'm 100% on that. Not to say he won't be, but it's not as likely as the press made out. So it wasn't the press. It was Kev Graham on Axom, and some of the Axom guys, they know some guys. They never tell me anything explicitly. By the way, I only regurgitate what Kev said on the stream. Probably the last Axom stream I did. I'll be on Axom tomorrow night for the big Fancy Friday show that they do. But yeah, in my experience, some of those guys, they know they get some intel. Can we compare some of the best candidates to Iwata? Yes and no. Look, we can, but the thing with Iwata is it's been so long. Like, he's played at Birmingham this year, and League One isn't really well covered by Opta either. So we don't have his Birmingham City record on this website. We also can look at it on our website and just see like appearances and average ratings out of 10 and whatever. But I think ultimately, like, the thing with Iwata, and I think it was always going to be the thing that held him back, and I know it sounds really archaic or dark ages, but he was too small. Imagine the midfield was Iwata, McGregor, Hatate. Like, you need somebody that's going to actually, actually be a presence up there, which is why we bring in Bernardo, which is why we bring in Engels. So I just, ultimately, no matter how good Iwata has been, will be, his comparison isn't really going to be fair on, like, not really him, but on, like, what we're looking for. Because I think you can clearly see he's good enough, but similar to some other players Rodgers has bombed out the team, he's just decided, or he is of the opinion, there's something not quite there for them. I think you register for it, Celtic fan. I think you go on the website and you can register for the away cup ticket scheme or something like that. That's a big thing on my bucket list, is doing an away European tour with Celtic. And with the new format of the Champions League, it makes it even more fun because you get more away trips. And yeah. I don't know, mate. I don't know who the scouts are at Celtic, sadly. I know a coach or two. I did my B license with one or two of them. Very good guys. Cannot speak highly enough of them for what it's worth. Okay, so Vinny Souza, I would make him a top candidate. We've been in for him before, and if he doesn't get promoted to the Premier League, I'm not sure how many English teams would be interested in him. I think it would be the likes of us and maybe some other fledgling La Liga type teams, maybe go background for him or something. So yeah, I like him. We've added Pedro Vite. I don't know if I added in Jack McGlynn. I really like Antonio Blanco. I really like Tatrawi. I think Antonio Blanco, do you know, the thing about him, we added Shotard and Atanya. I'm also going to add in Antonio Blanco, right? Because Antonio Blanco, for me, you'll need to check out the La Liga episode where we're going into it in more detail, but very highly regarded by Carlo Ancelotti. Very highly regarded. When he was still at Real Madrid, is like a 19, 20-year-old, maybe 21. He's 24 now. A lot more La Liga experience. He is a defensive midfielder with a Real Madrid passing range. Very, very high level guy for me. And I like Sangar's profile, but again, it's just that Champions League step. Do we think he has that? I really like the MLS guys, but like I say, I'm not too sure we can really push the boat out for them. Let me go into another tab for a second, and we'll have a look at how the shortlist is actually looking. How many players are on it? Oops, sorry, wrong button. And so we've got 4 defenders, 5 mids, and excuse me once again, the Brownhill, Shortard, Vite. Yeah, that's kind of my favourite, certainly. Sadalek, I would add into this as well because of the versatility and the contract situation. I really like Shea Charles as well, but there's a good chance he's probably going to go back to Southampton when his loan ends and try and get them promoted a bit. I really like Jack McGlynn also. I think I'm going to add him on because his contract status is too appealing for Celtic not to be investigating it. I like Aymar Oroz as well. I like Fastev. I consider these guys more wingers. Yes, I'd like we already added in. Excellent. Now, we'll move to forwards, right? And we'll consider some of these guys as forwards. We've got Filip Krastev here, Bulgarian international, on loan from one of the Man City teams, if not Man City, to Holland. And he's been doing very, very well. If you look at his highlight package, this guy's a big game player. Scores some beautiful goals. He's rinsed it sometime this year. You know, for a really poor team, being like the talisman, playing well for Bulgaria against Ireland here, as you can see. And yeah, this could be a guy you get with a loan and a buy option. Maybe Yang goes out on loan or something like that as well. And so I like him. I don't know if he would quite make the short list. I like him. Jacob Briam, I like also. Mohamed Dahatarin is back on the straight and narrow. I think he's out of contract at the end of the year as well. Or if he's not, like, Wildwick got him for bugger all, so it shouldn't be that hard to get a deal done. If we're interested in that type of profile. And like I say, the Scandi guys like Meyer, Kronvig, we're kind of moving on to forward, so I probably should be talking about Broholm, Aymar, Stoikers. I really do think Stoikers should be one of the top guys on our. Oh, I really like Eric Martel and Casper Jander as well. Oh, it's actually quite hard to build a short list. I really like Skelly Alvaro as well. How tall was the last guy? The last guy was like a giant, wasn't he? What was his name again? Sidibe. So how tall was he? 202. How tall? Just put it on screen. 2 meters 2, right? Skelly Alvaro. How tall were you? I think he's like 210, by the way. This guy looks like a basketball player. He's actually the same height. Interesting. This guy's maybe just another Skelly Alvaro type he's actually playing, whereas this guy is kind of, since leaving Sochaux. Against Sochaux, this team has got one of the best academies in Europe as well, by the way. So if you see players coming out of there for money like this, like 3 million to Lyon, they're almost always worth watching out for. It was a guy that came onto my radar at Sochaux before moving to Lyon without ever really playing there. I still like Dave Watson. I still like Killian Phillips, but they're a different type of player. I should be talking about the forward-based ones that are here. Sorry, I'm kind of losing myself. Now, Oryaster, I think about how close that was. He was walking about with his passport by all accounts and everything. I think we're probably going to be back in for him. And I think, like, with Jota's injury, a guy like that's probably quite a good move. You know, will come in, can play. And if Jota comes back in and displaces him, brilliant. If Jota can't get back in the team because of him, brilliant kind of as well. And I'm also a fan of Broholm. Now, Broholm, I often refer to as the Norwegian David Silva. He's a wee bit of a feisty playmaker. He's really good technical ability. But like I say, he's feisty. He likes a booking. He's no shy of like pressing, getting in people's faces, and can play centre mid, can play up front, can play wide forward as well. And he started this season pretty well since we've previewed him off the back of a pretty good campaign last year. This doesn't scroll back to that, but we zoom out. He had a pretty good year last year as well. So this is the guy that's on the up and up. And we're not going to be able to get Naipan, who's the big wonder kid coming out of Rosenborg, but this guy is probably overlooked because of Naipan. And at 20 years old, I think this guy is a very good prospect. Good Tate replacement, good forward depth also. I would add Broholm in because I think he's quite gettable. Agreed. I think there's been a few concrete rumours. There's a few that we've led this channel on or this show on, certainly. We need Quinny on Scout Stack, them guys who are our scouts. Thank you very much. I'm glad you think so. Ross Cooper says the scouts are Mark Cooper, Jay Lefebvre, Tosh McKinley, David Pleat, Alex Lawrence, Strachan's lad, and a few of our analysis do some bits. Head is Paul Tisdale, Willie McStay is head of youth. Roscoe 5, great intel, great insight. I think I could do an alright job with those guys, surely. What does Tosh McKinley have on me, scouting wise, really? David Pleat, of course, like, I think we're all surprised by that one. Don't know the other lads. I'm not talking derogatory of anyone. I'm having a bit of banter with you, of course, but surely they consider wee Quinny or big Quinny, depending on what day of the week it is. Any more forward? I like Diego. I really like Diego Luna. I was actually saying this to Charlie, who's in the chat earlier. Charlie does my editing. That this guy is pushing for a move to Europe, and this guy's techers. This guy's a streets won't forget type player, and yeah, it probably wouldn't cost too much. Salt Lake are not a bigger franchise with a holdout for stupid money. They'd probably take a decent fee with a buy clause or a sell-on clause. And this guy's an attacking mid. He can play wide left as well. Played a wee bit of wide right. I didn't know that. Maybe more of an Tate replacement rather than really anything else that would fit into the team. But yeah, Oryaster, we've added him back onto the list. I really don't think there's any reason we shouldn't be looking at this guy. Elvis was hotly linked to us, apparently. A midfielder from Augsburg. That's what we've started the Bundesliga episode with. But yeah, I think if we're being serious about some of the forwards that we've looked at in Belgium that are very much top of the food chain guys like Balikwisha and guys like Franjo Ivanovic, we should definitely be looking at Jarno Stoikers. Now, I think Antman is, like, if you look at Antman's profile, he actually gives you kind of everything that a Celtic striker needs and wants. He can play wide, can play through the middle. He's not a small lad either. He's got some international credentials. Go Ahead Eagles won the Dutch Cup this year, so they'll be playing European football next year. And this guy's had a great partnership with Jacob Breum. Jacob Breum, for me, is probably the better player ultimately, but I think Antman is probably the one that would fit us much better. And he's been very prolific. It's really hard to look past how good he's been this year. He's got some links, but I don't think any of them are beyond us or like would muscle us out of the market necessarily. I don't think the transfer fee is going to be out of our reach as well. And I think Antman is definitely, for me, a top target. Top target. Miguel Rodriguez, we spoke about in good detail around the Utrecht situation. I'm not going to labour that again. Check out the Dutch video if you want to go into that in a bit more detail. Million Manhoff had some strong links to us again as well. This is a guy that plays everywhere except goalkeeper over his career. And with Stoke, I say this guy's had an injury or two. That's kind of the main thing I think that's kept him at Stoke since moving there from Vitesse, I think it was, wasn't it? He's good and stuff. We previewed him in the Championship video. I'm not that sure he's a guy we run after and make sure we go and get. I like Sulemana on the whole relegation from the Premier League angle. Just don't know where he'll end up. He was a guy that, when he was coming out of France, he was on so many of the same metric levels as like Neymar and Dembele and stuff like that when they were at his age at that time. We're talking when he was 18, 19 or something like that, probably 20. And it's just went downhill since he's went to Southampton. So going to a Champions League club would really resurrect his career. And from us, we could definitely springboard him into another good team. I would not want to rule that out. I want to just double check on that. What is his contract status? Any of you guys in the chat maybe know about buyout clauses, relegation clauses, let me know. He signed for them last time and they got relegated immediately and he didn't leave. So I think maybe any relegation clause would have only been activated in this type of scenario. He's got 2 years left on his deal. Transfer value at 13 million. Don't think you should be put off by that for a guy of his caliber if you know he's fit. Raul Moro is someone we had proper links to. I've watched him in La Liga. He's a very Celtic winger. And I could see him coming to us sincerely. So I'll put him on the shortlist because I think it's a move that could happen. Valladolid are getting relegated. We've been linked to him before. He really looks like a Celtic winger. And there's a little bit of precedent with that with Jota formerly playing at Valladolid before moving to us. Now, if we do cheap out on a Jota bit of cover, Topi Kiskinen for me is a great shout. A great shout. I think he did well against us when we played the B team against him. I think he's been really good domestically. For a winger, he's quite tall. And like, I'm a fan. I'm a fan personally. And if we're going to cheap out, I think he's a great option. I like Junior Ito as one of the oldest players on the list here. If Ream do lose a relegation playoff, Junior Ito is besties with Dyson and is the guy that keeps Kyogo, or one of the guys that keeps Kyogo out of the Japan team. So again, replace Kyogo with a guy, yada yada. I like Ablin as well. I would see this guy as more as an upgrade on Ida, or if you get this guy, you're moving Kenny out the squad entirely. Moses Simon we've been linked to enough times. Of course, you guys will all be familiar with him. But the link we actually had was Herba Girassi, who's a kind of younger forward coming through. Doesn't really, it underwhelms me, if I'm honest. But Franjo Ivanovic, who we were linked to, Balikwisha, who we were linked to, I would definitely add both of them to the shortlist. They're very much top of the food chain level guys that if they came in, add another dimension to the attack and are more likely to reach that Champions League type level. I love Diego Lopez. But yeah, Valencia are probably not letting them go anytime soon. I think the comments that you guys left suggested as much as well. Camelo, I would really like. Injury problems just won't go away. Carl's back, looks okay as well, but he plays at the same team as Oryaster. I'm not too up on him to really go beyond what I said already. Ayase Ueda for me is the number one Kyogo replacement. And just the way Finer's transfer business is going, I wouldn't rule that out. Again, does get an injury or two here or there, so isn't completely perfect profile-wise. But I'm a big fan of Dominic Fitz, one-man machine at Austria Vienna. And this is like a Matt O'Reilly type replacement. Could he, this is from attacking mid predominantly, could he make the step up to Champions League level is the question mark. He is an absolute machine. And at the sort of domestic level, I think he would walk all over Scotland. I really think he would be fantastic. I don't think there's much to really question on that. Can play centre mid, can play attacking mid, can play up front. He is an Austria Vienna fan, so maybe they're getting an extra 5% out of him than the average Austrian club would have gotten out of him, if that makes sense. Maybe you see that then kind of nerf a bit or lose its edge if he was to move to a non-Austria Vienna team. It's kind of like Neil Lennon. I always thought Neil Lennon was a great Celtic manager, but I never had any confidence he could manage a team other than Celtic well. And then it's funny because except for Bolton and Bucharest, every team he's managed wears green and white. You know, so maybe it fits. Maybe you get some of that with guys that, you know, like play for their club or manage the club that they love. You get a bit more out of them. Contract expires in 1 year. This is a guy we really should be all over. Fitz has to make the shortlist for me. And then some of these other guys, yeah, I'm not going to labour them too much. If you want to check out the videos, you'll see a good detailed breakdown on the rest of these prospects here. I'll take a wee pause for the cause in a second. And between the likes of, I don't know, Corridor, Trasoldi, Andres Martin, there's some really good technical prospects here that would be a lot cheaper than Ivanovic and Balikwisha. But again, when I'm thinking my responsibility to you guys, I want to give you good content that's fun and engaging and whatever. I want to keep it realistic, but I also don't want it to be like Mo Sizlak was saying to us in the chat, just like, oh, this guy plays Football Manager. It's actually like thought out, realistic, and probable. But also, if we did sign them, if somebody from the club did listen to this or something like that, they would actually like make a difference. They would actually make the step up. And with some of these players, I'm not totally convinced they could go at the Champions League level. So yeah, without further analysis, without Celtic paying me to go and watch these guys play and stuff like that, and see, you know, what was the Villas Boas thing that everyone used to talk about? Like, you knew how they did their hair and you know, all that shit. If they want to pay me to do that, I can give you more analysis, more breakdown on that front. But until that time, you're stuck with what I can do from watching from here and overviews on stat pages and whatever. Right, so this is the shortlist. Let's hit refresh on this. We're up to 19 players, which is lovely. I'll take a wee pause for the cause. The chat's been running away. I need to catch up with it, sorry. Now, I didn't have Kvistgarden in this, right, because I kind of assumed he'd probably go to Frankfurt. I still kind of assumed the Bundesliga probably will take him, and we're probably going to miss out. But with Yuito Suzuki moving, I don't know. Something's in my head telling me that makes it more likely we get Kvistgarden. I don't know why. Because it was Freiburg that got Yuito Suzuki, wasn't it? Wasn't it Frankfurt? Let me double check that. You guys in the chat will probably tell me by the time I've checked it, but Yuito Suzuki. I think I've spelled that right. Freiburg, yeah. So yeah, I don't know why my head tells me that makes it more likely or more possible. But I just do. I sincerely don't think there's anything missing. I love the Kasugi shout, by the way, as well. We need in our backup left back. We've got no goalkeepers here. I think we've got really strong defence candidates. Really strong midfield as well. The age, the profile, the availability of all these guys is kind of undeniable in terms of how good of a prospect they should be, could be, would be. So when we get to the shortlist, we've got down to 19 players. We've got 9 mids, 6 forwards, 4 defenders. 12 of them are between 19 and 23. 6 of them, 24 to 28. And 1, 29 to 30-year-old. Who's the old man in here? Who is the old man? Brownhill. That's fine. Right, I'm going to take a wee pause, and you guys can tell me your thoughts and feelings and how things are shaking. Koke Saito, yeah, Koke Saito, the Japanese Messi would be nice, but he's in the championship. It's going to be a hard sell, I think. Thing with Tilio, I met Tilio for the press conference thing. Tilio, with all due respect to him, is the same height as my 9-year-old. He's fucking tiny. Like, he is a small boy. Doesn't mean he's not good. Doesn't mean he can't like do stuff and compensate for it and whatever. He is fucking tiny. Like, I could not believe when he walked in the room. It's like, wow, where's the rest of? Shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. But 170. That sounds taller than what he is, or what he looked like to me anyway. I don't know if that isn't feet. Let me see. I jumped out of the chat. My wee zombie mate, and he said he's away to Tenerife to get away from his words Scottish Cup dish. Love that. Yes, I can see it. It's a very Celtic thing to do, isn't it? Or Palma. Oh, don't. That was the thing with this as well, is we should definitely be using Palma and Lager BLK and maybe Naroki as like some sort of make weight in a transfer for one of these guys. Like maybe they want 5 million. We don't want to spend 3. Let's give you 3, a sell-on clause, and take Palma. You know, that kind of move. Could a few ex-players like Lubo do some scouting? Yeah. I hope they do. I hope they do. I think, David, the thing, right, as well, right, is the club have access to different info. Like, I paid for Y Scout before. I've paid for StatsBomb before. And like when you sign up to these things, you kind of tell them who you are. And obviously, if you're a club, there's extra validation and stuff to go through. There is so there a lot of metrics the club look at that I don't have here is behind the paywall, number one, and then some other statistics are behind a further kind of gatekeeping situation, and then you dovetail that with the detail that they know from the current players, how hard they run, how much their stamina lasts, and red zones and all that kind of stuff. So we only really get to see the surface level stuff unless you're inside football. That's how I think of it. I think Martin O'Neill would be a great director of football, personally. I know, like, you might be like, oh, he's old and like he's like in the past and stuff like that. But see, between Martin O'Neill or Paul Lambert is always a good shout for me as well. The director of football role, amongst other things, is to be the salesman for the team. You know, like, yeah, they'll probably help the scouting and help the like decision making on, right, who are the 3 guys we're going to chase. But then they're the guys, along with the manager at some point, as we know, Ange just spoke to people, Brendan speaks to people. But the director of football, that sort of person, whether it be, I don't know, like Deco at Barcelona or Monchi at Aston Villa or Van der Sar at Ajax or Overmars or whoever it was. I think Overmars got in a lot of trouble, actually. Probably shouldn't mention him. And you're saying, no, not Lambert, right? Whatever, right? But Lambert speaks German. Lambert knows a lot of people in Germany. Lambert won the Champions League, you know, so Lambert's got a bit of something about him. And I think Lambert was a good manager. Like, did well with Norwich, League One Championship Prem. Don't think he did that great at Villa. I think he was all right in Scotland. I don't think he was great either. And I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, right? But he has track record. He has pedigree. You know, like, I like Lambert. I like O'Neill. That might just be me and my bias, because when I grew up, Lambert was like one of the biggest players we had, you know, like, wow, this guy won the Champions League and whatever. And Paul Lambert was one of those guys that I watched and I thought, do you know what? I could be a professional footballer. I could do what he does, you know. Same with Neil Lennon. I could do what they do, you know. Obviously, as you grow up, you realise it's not quite as simple as that. I'm sick of looking at the English market. I'm kind of there as well, by the way. I'm kind of there as well. We've not looked at the Blackburn guy, so I'll maybe have a wee peek at him. Lubo's got a wee bit of that kind of pedigree as well. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, that'd be fun. A GoFundMe page for me just to like freelance scout for Celtic. Oh, yes, I do. I do have interest in Matchworn shirts. I've got a few. Non-Celtic ones, sadly. Heightist. I think for some positions you kind of have to be. I'm sorry, Marco Telly. Maybe not attackers, right? But it was just an observation. Love the chat, guys. You guys are on fire. I absolutely love it. Haji Wright from Coventry. No. I'm going to say hard no on Haji Wright. I'm not into that at all. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto. I was a huge fan of this guy when he was coming out of Japan. Huge fan of Sakamoto. At Coventry, isn't it? He's been doing none too bad. I've not paid attention to him this year under Frank Lampard. I know they got close, but no cigar. But he was playing, yeah. So before Lampard, they were playing like 3-4-3, and he was playing like right mid, but he's much more of an attack-based player, and it looks like Lamps has been doing that with him. I would take him, but the thing with Tatsuhiro Sakamoto I would worry about is that Champions League step thing again. We will know if you get the analysis gig if you suddenly dry up about players when you only mention the most basics. I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you. They'll probably, like, if I did get the job, they probably would say I can't make Celtic videos anymore. That's probably the only downside, I imagine, is they probably say, you can't do, you can't go talk and tell the fans and tell them what you're trying to do, and then we don't do it, and then we look even worse, kind of thing. So I would need to do it on my own channel, and it would need to be really subliminal. I would need to be like, guys, I really don't think we should go after Sakamoto. That would be bad. Oh, like there we go. Yeah, he is brilliant. It's just that next step part. That's just what I'm not sure he's got. Could he play for us and be amazing? No, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Huddle setup, Huddle Sports Code. I was actually looking at that today, funnily enough, as well as some other bits and pieces. Roscoe, but yeah, it's like, yeah, there's just more stuff that's available than what the public can get access to, or journalists. Jovan Mijatovic is if you Googled Jovan Mijatovic recently, he went to New York City, the most expensive player in New York City history, the Man City team in New York. It didn't work out for him. He's went to Belgium, and I will just describe him as a car crash. Feel free to check it out, but I think he's an arsehole, mate. I don't think he's worth the bother. Tatsuhiro Sakamoto. After 17 pints, it might be harder. I'm with you there. They would ask you to wipe a lot of what you've already done online. Oh, really? Well, okay, good to know. And guys, if you see that happening, watch out. Jack Lyons? Who's Jack Lyons? And what's CU? Celtic Underground. Oh, so was that a guy from Celtic Underground that got a job at Celtic? That's quite cool. Who was he? What does he do? Roscoe, that's a new bit of gossip for me. Oh, that's the match shirts you have. Well, like the guy is a player, but he does Google him. And Kyogo, that is a beast, mate. That is a beast. That's priceless, essentially, isn't it? Champions League Kyogo shirt. Beauty. I would show you my Larson shirt, but it's kind of really hard with the camera position and wire issue and whatever. Jack was an analyst. Oh wow, fantastic. Is he back doing content stuff now or what? Is that one I should watch out for? I think I'm subscribed to this. I do my best. You guys will see me in live chats as often as I'm on YouTube, But I don't think Celtic Underground is one that I'm tapped into. Is this my account? Yeah, it is. I'll subscribe. Ooh. I'll need to check this out. We'll be back live tomorrow, guys, to preview the Scottish Cup final, so I'll need to check this out in a bit more detail. Conclave special banter. Yeah, these guys sound funny. Get a bit of patter about them, surely. Oh, I actually seen this on my timeline. This one, I didn't watch it because I knew Paul John had interviewed that guy, and I thought it'd be interesting to see what he says with them guys. I've subscribed to them now. I'll check them out. I'll check them out. Yokohama have fallen off big time. It happens in Japan. I was chatting about this on our stream, but in Japan, like every team that's done, I've seen do well, fall off a cliff. Like Vissel Kobe, Yokohama, Kawasaki, Urawa. I've seen them do amazing and then they just fucking drop. I bet it's a cool top, man. A good few years ago, Rodgers' first stint. Oh, interesting. Went with Rodgers to Leicester. Oh, wow. That's buzz. Yeah, I've got a Lucas Martinez Quatra match-worn shirt from when he played at Fiorentina. I'm going to show you if you want. And what else do I have? I've got an Arnau Martinez. I'm not sure if that is actually match-worn. I don't think it is, actually. Celtic Underground is good. Well, SSM, if you're saying that, I'll back it. Ooh, that's cool. That's really cool, by the way. Nice. Do you want to see the Fiorentina top? I'll show it for Celtic fan. He wants to see it. I've also got like a signed squad Liverpool shirt. I've got a signed Girona shirt in there, and what was the other one I just seen that I forgot about? I've got like 5 signed shirts: Liverpool, Girona. Can't mind the other one. But this is my match worn Fiorentina kit. Belter, eh? Lucas Martinez Quadra signed and everything, and this is like a proper Kappa kit, by the way. You would love to wear this thing. You would love to wear it. Light as a feather. Stunning. And the Larson one is match worn, actually, but that's in a frame. Match worn Larson. You heard that right. This is, don't think this is match worn. I've got no confidence on it at all, but this is one of my pride and joys. Works. And this is like 3 seasons old. It's not his rookie year, as it were. It's maybe like the year after he debuted. But yeah, this is XL. It's definitely not Works' worn shirt, but that's one of my pride and joys, this bad boy. But yeah, Fiorentina one's a peach. I've got a Liverpool squad one there. I've got a Girona, but there's another one. I've just seen it and then forgotten all about it. Thank you very much. Ooh, I've got a match worn shirt, a cup final jersey from '94 from my primary school. Priceless, mate. Priceless. Priceless. Can't find the clip. If you do find it, feel free to like leave it in a comment or send me on a DM or something at 23001. Wow, that's a belter. There's a boozer, or not a boozer, there's a booze shop on Argyle Street, like Finiston. You'll know the one I'm talking about, I'm sure. It's like, it looks rough as fuck. It's been there for ages. And they've got like a signed, maybe Maradona and Pele shirts, like hung up and framed in that on the wall. The best football tops are Wolfsburg. Ah. The Liverpool one, yeah, probably. Well, I'll go and get them. I'll show you then we'll get out of here, right? I've actually got another stream to do on my own channel for members and stuff. Give me a sec. I think the Larson shirt was where I got 5 from. Yeah, the Girona top still has tags on it, so that's definitely not match worn. But Girona bad boy. Arnau Martinez. Very good right back, by the way. Very, very good right back. Would be good for us if we needed a right back. And then Liverpool squad bad boy. Now it's not signed by everyone. I've managed to ID some of them. Can't remember what ones I ID'd actually, to be honest with you. But some of them have wrote numbers. 3, I think that's Fabinho, isn't it? 23 down here. I've not checked that. See, I've not properly tried to ID it. Number 7. Who's number 7? Is that Luis Diaz, maybe? I'm forgetting Liverpool numbers and stuff, but no name on the back end, just a squad. It's not even the full squad. It's just one of those things where they put a bunch of shirts on the table and say, right, boys, go and sign them all, and then give them away to pricks like Quinny. So, yeah, that's my signed stuff I've got lying about in here. Oh, Roscoe. Football history, that is, man. True stories, Quinny. Oh, that's beautiful. It's like a gesture as well. Love that. Luis Diaz, number 7. Nice. You've got Aiden. Is that an Aiden McGeady shirt? Or yeah, I'm definitely keeping them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to love yous and leave yous as well, guys. We've actually been on for 2 hours and 5 minutes, which is absolutely flown by. Love all you guys for tuning in. Fist bumps, of course, as well. I'm not going to lie. We've had 60, 70 with us all the way through this live on YouTube. I'd love this to hit 50 likes. We're not quite there. I'm sure if you're watching this after we've been live, hitting the like button will be easy peasy. I'm sure we're going to smash through 100 likes dead easily. But if you have enjoyed the show, please do hit the subscribe button for more content like this. If you did enjoy the stream, of course, smash the like button. We'll be back tomorrow live. We'll be live between 5 and 6 to preview the Scottish Cup final. And yeah, if you watch this after we've been live and you've made it all the way to this point, you are a nutter, and I love you for it. Hail, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Won the hoops. Oh, will we summarise? I think we've done that. Anyway, see you tomorrow, guys.